Welcome back to Life in the ATL. Joining me in the studio today is Barry Glustoff. He is with Digital Arts Studio. Barry, did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Glustoff. What's the heritage of that name?
Originally kind of Russian variation.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I could go down that trail for a while, but we'll go back to your tell me a little bit about Digital Arts Studio, which is here in the Atlanta area.
Right, we're located in West Midtown. We've been here since 2003. My wife and I moved to Atlanta to open the business, which is a relatively new concept, in 2003 with a longtime friend who had lived here for many more years than that.
What drew you to Atlanta?
Again, to partner with a friend of mine who had been, we're lifelong friends. We had gone to high school, grammar school, even college, and majored in photography, and both ended up in the picture framing industry out of school, partially because realizing making a living as fine art photographers was not really a reasonable profession to actually put food on the table back in the late 70s.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's vocation and then there's occupation.
Sure.
Yeah.
They train you well, and today it's pretty much the same thing. Art schools will teach you technique and how to do things, but they don't really prepare you for real world to actually make a living at it, and that's what we're kind of all about.
I was intrigued by, when I was reading up on it, how you really have, you do photography, but the fact that you focus on framing, I think people sit back and they think, well, I thought that was the same thing. And certainly you frame a picture. When you're shooting the picture, you frame it. You make sure that it's exactly what you want it to be. But you then frame the frame.
To an extent. The photography that we do is very specialized and very unique in the United States. Requires, like, if you have an iPhone, you have a 12 or 13 megapixel camera.
Right.
If you have a brand new Nikon, it's 40 to 50 megapixels. Ours go up to 384. So when we scan, basically, essentially photograph a piece of original artwork, we capture every nuance and detail and texture. We use lighting that negates any reflection, so we get a lot of three-dimensional depth. And it allows an artist to offer reproductions of their work in various sizes to a larger audience for a lot less than, in many cases, the price of a one-time original. And an artist can only sell one original to one person once. This way they can expand their notoriety, their customer base, their collector base, and the type of printing that we do was developed in the early 90s, and we print on fine art media such as canvas, actual Belgian linen, the same materials that Da Vinci and Rembrandt painted on, to fine art cotton rag papers made by mills that have been in business for over 400 years. We're actually certified by Hanemühle and Canson mills. Then they've been the primary makers of fine art cotton rag textured papers. We print with fine art inks, which then creates a museum quality print, often referred to as Giclee, that literally will last 150 years. And there isn't any better process that'll capture the detail, the largest range of reproducible colors, and longevity and image quality. So it expands an artist's capabilities to actually make a living from their artwork by offering, lower cost fine art copies that are so closely mimic the originals, most people can't tell.
That is fascinating, because what you do is you're taking these people that have great calling and a love and an art form, but you're helping them to find the business aspect of that.
Exactly, and it's something that I had hoped to do, and we even find it, 30, 40 years later, is that artists and photographers coming out of school education are not really well prepared to make a career out of their talents. And we don't want to see artists be discovered 500 years after they've passed on. And not everybody can afford a $10,000 or $20,000 original for over their fireplace, but a $1,000 copy that you could swear was an original is better. And face it, most of us are not fine art collectors. We buy art because it captures our attention. Mostly it's color, subject matter, whether it is. That's probably the main determining factor of this. But artists can put it out there and sell it over and over and over again. The colors can come and go out of, decor and design trending things. And if somebody wants to support an artist and don't have the room, they can buy a smaller copy. And the main thing that differs in this technology is that an artist no longer has to give up the rights to a company that can reproduce it in volume, stock the inventory, and distribute it. And much like the music industry, pay a royalty to the artist so they can continue on making more artwork. Now an artist can go direct to their client base, especially with the internet, print on demand. We ship directly to their customers should they wish. They can come in and sign them. We can send them to them. Plus, we have a complete, custom framing option that makes us a one-stop shop for artists who wish to print and frame their work and have it ready for sale. Canvas, when it's stretched, is ready to hang. And we can go up to 5 feet wide by 10 feet long.
My goodness.
So we do things for the movie industry and TV productions here. We've done work for the Carter Center, the Atlanta Hawks. We have stuff at Mercedes-Benz Stadium and Truist Park. We've done work for all the major universities and countless other companies. And again, we have photographers who work for National Geographic and photographers who don't know how to get their pictures off their iPhone. And that's fine. That's why we're not a faceless entity online.
Right.
You can come in, you can see it, you can see samples of what we're capable of doing. So if a picture needs editing or it needs enlargement, all of those possible things are doable too, including photo restoration and image manipulation. I can take a photograph and make it look as if it were painted and then print it on canvas. The interesting thing about all of this is that it elevates photography to a fine art collectible medium, because who would pay hundreds of dollars or even more than that for a photograph, unless it was an Ansel Adams that was a black and white, that on the wall for a few years would fade, and lose its color. Now they won't.
You're like a concierge. Bring us whatever you're dealing with. I need tickets to a print of this, and you seem to be able to then figure out, well, you could do this or this, and this is how you do that. And
well, again, most artists need the encouragement. They don't know what they don't know in terms of the opportunities, because this is still relatively new technology, and this is not really expressed or gone into detail. Again, the business of selling fine art prints and making a living from your artist. We have a lot of professional artists who are great salespeople and know how to get their work out there. We see amazingly talented people every day, and they simply don't know the first steps in how to present it, who to present it to, the opportunities for getting exposure and so on. So they can come in and talk to us or one of my talented team members to give them some ideas and show them some of the possibilities so that they now know what they didn't know beforehand and explore the opportunities. And, it's kind of, we lead the horse to water, we can shove their face in it, we just can't make them swallow. So we can't be everybody's, representative or agent, but we can give them the tools, provide the follow-up fulfillment services, and create a quality product that, they'd be proud to sell and have the confidence in selling to a collector basis, something that
I feel like we have just done a 50,000 foot view of everything you do, and we could go down to any one of those silos and unpack it a lot. You need to come back because we've got a lot to talk about.